Hi everyone, welcome to this live interactive session with the Dean of ASBM, which is Aditya School of Business Management based out in Bombay. In this session, we will cover all the important parameters which will help you out to first select the right business team and second, even to prepare for the interviews which are required to get into these top business schools. In this session, we have called Professor Sunita Srivastava, who is the current Dean of ASBM Bombay. First of all, ma'am, thank you so much for taking time out and letting this session happen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhijit.
Ma'am, as we know, post this pandemic, the demands of the corporates have been changing ever and ever. Okay. So in this current situation, what do you think? How are B schools bridging this current gap of the academics and the current demands and the ever-growing demands of the top corporates?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I would like to start with a quotation which says that a flower that blooms in adversity is the rarest and the most beautiful. So I think all the B schools are equipping students with hybrid kind of skills.
Okay.
So even if the scenario has changed from the pandemic to a normal scenario, which we are so thankful to God that this has come back to us, I think the most important thing is that we have already started equipping students to handle both kinds of scenarios. So with this kind of a skill set, students would never find it challenging to be able to counter the VUCA world. The VUCA business world, which we so often talk about in terms of being volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. I think all these things are getting handled by the kind of training that the B schools are imparting in today's scenario.
Okay. So, could you help us with some examples in terms of live projects, certification courses that students must go through to be adaptive enough?
Yeah, you see, one, people have to follow a very rigorous academic schedule. And when I say that, the expectation of the corporate is that they would like to have a person with the right aptitude, which means a person who can learn quickly and also adapt fast.
Okay.
So, we need to, first of all, follow a very good schedule, an academic rigorous schedule, so that people know about the basic concepts.
Yes.
So, the approach that we use at ASBM is known as the FAIR approach. FAIR, where F stands for foundation, A for applications, I for integration, and R for reinforcement. So in each and every subject as well as live project or summer internship that we ask our students to undertake, we try and get them to understand this entire gamut of all these four essentials. One, the fundamentals that they have to be clear with. Conceptually, they have to be very strong. They need to know how to apply it in a real life scenario. So we give them, role plays, problem situations, case studies, so that their analytical abilities can also be developed. We get them to integrate everything in such a way that they cannot be a kind of a normal professional in today's world. They have to be a T-shaped professional, which means a T-shape where the horizontal line stands for having, an overview of everything, and you have to know how to go deep down in terms of your specialization. So that kind of a scenario, which the corporate is providing to us, is actually very interesting for us because we are able to engage our students in a manner that they become equipped to fit into this changing world.
No doubt. So whether it is creating the depth in the same vertical or possibly having a cross-functional ability, both the things they have to be adapted now.
Absolutely.
So amazing insight for all the students in fact. Ma'am, I'm sure at ASBM also there are thousands of applications which usually comes every year for selection of the PGDM candidates. So what typically a business school like ASBM will look at in a candidate?
So the most important thing is coachability. People have to display that they have this keen desire to learn. You see, the willingness to learn is what is going to get them ignited towards even absorbing whatever is there that we are willing to provide to them. Second important quality that we look at is conversational skills. People should be in a position to, with confidence, carry through a conversation, follow proper etiquettes, and the rest of the things we are able to groom them with when they come to the campus. We own them up as our own students, and we are responsible for taking them through a journey starting from the first semester till the end. Each semester has a focus. We have a skill-based focus for each semester. Like in the first one, presentation skills, communication skills are focused upon. And then they move to the second semester, negotiation skills, problem solving abilities. And then in the third one, they apply their specialized knowledge so that they can try and connect what we were just talking about, the cross-functional approach to their in-depth knowledge about a particular specialization, whether it is marketing, finance, operations, information technology, or HR. So in the final semester, we once again consolidate everything. So the consolidation happens in terms of bringing them to international business, strategic management, a global outlook. So there is a particular focus which we have in mind, and we also have a parallel mentorship program which keeps running starting from day one. So the first mentorship is provided by the seniors. We call them buddy mentors, immediate seniors. And then comes the alumni, second layer, third faculty, and finally industry experts. So I think this process is beautifully interwoven in such a way that the person feels prepared. That's what we do. But what we expect from the student is very, very simple. No rocket science. The only thing is people should be comfortable in whatever they speak, be honest about it, and follow ethics properly.
So, in a nutshell, it feels like, students in a business school as an outcome, once they graduate from a PGDM course or from a B school, it looks like the product has been put into the market, right? The better these products, or let's say the students would do in their organization, the better the recognition of the B schools would be done.
Yeah, I can give you an example of how things happen, Like, for example, we keep ourselves abreast with the latest trends in the industry. So if there is a recruiter who is planning to visit us, maybe say the next week. So in this week, there's a lot of preparation given to them.
Of course.
The students are, given hand-holding with respect to the culture to expect in that corporate. So an alumni who would be working in that company is invited. We call it last mile help. And that person comes and talks about the culture to expect. And that actually prepares the student even better.
Of course.
So it's, not just the theoretical concepts and the case studies and the live projects, but it is also the live experience sharing that these industry people come and do, which actually enables them to see things, in actual perspective.
In fact, you have explained the whole journey of what B school would be all about once the student onboards a journey with ASBM also.
That's right.
Since the CAT results are out, the NMAT, SNAP, and all the in fact major results apart from CET and CMAT, which are yet to happen, the results are out. And students are even preparing for the GD and the PA also, right? And now, I want you to help all these thousands of students who are looking forward for good business schools to join, to help them to crack the GD and PA also. So as a mentor, let's say as a selection judge, what are the important parameters that you will judge a student on when they come for the group discussion, when they come for the interviews? If at all there's a SOP, how should they write an SOP? Or how should they in fact project themselves in terms of a business school, so that the business school considers them to be as a good intake for the upcoming journey?
Oh, you have asked me 3 questions in one. To begin with, an SOP. See, when we ask for, the aim of the student to be declared on a piece of paper, we want the student to be very honest and realistic. So one cannot talk about jargons which are used in the industry, because that's not the time when you do that. You present yourself realistically and honestly in terms of your educational background. What is the journey that you have spent so far, maybe at a graduation level? You talk about your interests, your achievements. That's about it. Second level, GD level. In a group discussion, since it is more to do with interaction with others as well, so what is judged as the first and the most important parameter is the ability to be able to talk within a group. So how much do you respect others? Are you willing to accept their ideas? Are you able to handle objections in case somebody says, no, I don't agree with your idea? So how is it that you come across as a person? Are you too aggressive? Or are you just simply assertive? You have to be firm about your beliefs. You have to actually trust your ideas. And you have to be confident about everything that you're saying. So you are actually trying to weave around the content. Content is the thing. So when it comes to a GD, people would like to see students who are well abreast of the latest happenings, whether it is on the national scenario or the international scenario. If they can come up with concrete examples of the way things are changing around us, that would add to whatever they speak, because that content has to be totally related to the topic which is handed over to them. And when it comes to a peer, that is more of a personal one-on-one interaction. And obviously, just like a recruitment process. I mean, we also have, 2 or 3 people who would be judging and observing the candidate. So the HR perspective is always in terms of the way you are groomed. How do you appear to be? So from, head to toe, you have to look, very active, agile and disciplined as an individual. You can't be dropping your things across and coming in a jiffy, looking nervous and having, sweat all over your face. So you have to take care of, first of all, your looks. That's very important. And the way you come and sit, that actually opens the first conversation. And obviously, the first question is, tell me something about yourself. And I think that is something which has not changed ever since I did my MBA. I mean, that's really interesting. But then, that's the first opening question. And how you complete that within a crisp 1.5 minutes, you have to practice that. So it's always good to rehearse. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? How is it that you can prove that you have integrity and values? A question which may be thrown across to somebody could be, are you willing to go to any length to achieve your dreams? So what are you checking? You are trying to trick the person into a scenario where you are tempting the person to go for a different answer. But that has to be understood. So you have to be in the driver's seat. And I would say modesty plays a very, very big role. You can't appear to be a person with arrogance. Your confidence should not be misjudged. The demeanor that you are able to have of calmness and composure during the interview is a very important factor.
So, I'm sure nowadays the concept of GD is being changed. B-schools in today's era talk about taking a case study rather than a group discussion.
Absolutely.
Top business schools are even talking about AWD to be as a good replacement of instead of having a GD in place. So for those business schools who do not take GD, could you help us with some more piece of thought as per with your great experience, the differentiating factor between the case discussion versus a group discussion? That's the first point. And second is, if at all they have been called for AWD, then how should they respond?
Okay. See, when it comes to a contemporary topic, or it could be even an abstract topic, like gray versus red. So that becomes, a kind of a group discussion topic. And to be able to tackle it again, you need to have the basics, right? And you have to know how to take examples of companies which could have been using those colors, even in their logos or things like that. So you need to know about the top CEOs, you need to know about the top organizations, the most valuable companies in the country, rankings and everything have to be known to you as a person. We are not saying that you have to memorize everything, but to be able to come up with the right example at the right time is what is going to be seen when you are tackling a GD topic like this. For a case-based scenario, for people who don't have work experience, people often feel that it's going to be very tough for us to be able to crack that kind of a GD. But I don't actually believe in that. I feel anybody and everybody has the potential to imagine. All that you have to do is imagine yourself in that scenario. Because the case will also culminate into a decision-making scenario. And to be able to take a decision, if you are able to place all the variables correctly, that shows your intellectual skills, your abilities to be able to put things together, solicit everybody else's opinion, and come up with a kind of a consensus decision. Because that requires more of teamwork and collaboration. So that is the basic distinction between both.
I think you've covered everything that it takes to crack a GD, to crack a CD, and as well as the important parameters to build a resume. But when it comes to PI, I'm sure all the students who comes for these interview, there's also one standard question which is being given to them as very standard question called it as why MBA. Right? And I'm sure a lot of people actually come with a lot of jargons also. Now in this typical question, how do you evaluate the students upon? Is it the narrative, what they want to give about their life with respect to the career aspirations, and how does an MBA will help them to achieve their career goals, or is it something else?
There are two things that I would keep in mind if I have to judge somebody on this question. So the first thing is, how do they assess the role of an MBA in any organization? So the role of an MBA is to try and fast-track business learnings and give an output. You have to be outcome-oriented. You have to be result-driven. If you do not have that drive and enthusiasm within you, you're not fit to take up the course. So you have to display that. That MBAs are taken up by organizations with a particular specific intention to drive the results faster.
Yes.
It's not that the others can't do it,
Yes.
but you know the skills, you know some of the models, you have learned them, you have analyzed cases, you can come up with examples and you can do it faster. That is one thing. The second thing is, how does the person relate this question to his own journey? If I have taken, say, BSc as my basic background and I'm wanting to get into an MBA, there is going to be a serious disconnect because some of these subjects are going to be finance oriented, the others are going to be quantitative based, and I, being a science student, I may not have been exposed to either of the two extremes. So I would like to understand to what extent is this person making efforts to prepare himself to get into the program in the first place. So if a person says that I'm proactive enough and he displays the potential that he has been looking at, some of these subjects like quantitative techniques or operations research, or is a little aware of it, I would give more credit to that student because he seems to be having the ability to absorb whatever we are going to give to him. So these are the two parameters.
Now the most important point. We know that for a B school it's important to select the right candidate. And it is equally important for the candidate to select the right business school. Right? So in this scenario, to come to the same level of expectation, how does ASBM come into picture? In terms of the rating, ranking, philosophy, the academic pedagogy, what the students will go through. Could you help us with some more piece of thought and let's say your way of delivery of what a PGDM course would be at ASBM?
Right. So the first thing is that as far as rankings are concerned, because that is something which everybody would be interested in knowing, we have been ranked number 6 amongst the top private B schools in Mumbai according to the Times B School ranking 2022. That is one. We are NAC accredited as an institution. We are also ISO 21001 certified. So as far as the certification for the quality standards that prevail within the institute, starting from teaching, learning to research, consultancy and student development, the quality standards are maintained consistently. That's the first confidence that somebody should have even before thinking about ASBM. That we try and keep all these quality standards in mind whenever we expose our students to any kind of distinct way of building their character. So the DNA of the student is the most important thing to us. They are here not to build their resume for a one-time job. They are here to build a career. So the entire orientation is long-term. See, most of the B schools, they don't have that long-term orientation, the vision. See, you need to have a vision for the student. See, why do we exist? The reason for our existence is that we would like to see this person build a career, reach the CEO's position as fast as possible. And that is what gives us a lot of pleasure. And we are totally driven in terms of our pedagogy, the research orientation that we give to the students, the live projects that we make available to them, so that even before they leave the institute, they know how to tackle people, they know how to manage bosses, they know how to deal with the industry challenges, so they are fairly well equipped. I would say that ASBM has been able to carve a niche for itself because we have practiced this pedagogy over a period of time and we have also modified it. So we are not very stringent about sticking to only one way of doing things. We're open to it, we keep changing, we keep adapting ourselves, and I think we are moving with times.
I think this is a good piece of information for people who are looking forward for ASBM for the round of applications which is going to happen now. Right? So amazing, man. I think you have covered everything right from the typical understanding of how to select a business school till the level of how to crack the PI of ASBM. Thank you so much for all the valuable inputs which you have given to us. And I'm sure with the upcoming time we'll have more such engaging sessions with ASBM. Thank you so much for watching this.